Hey, it's Ken from Backcountry Nomad, and I'm out here setting up camp, spending a few days out just west of Flagstaff, Arizona. I've been getting a fair amount of questions lately about my rig and how I travel and live in a four-door Jeep JKU. I thought it'd be a great opportunity to give you a quick tour of the rig, give you some tips and tricks, and show you just how I spend multiple days, weeks, months living out of this. It doesn't have to be a Jeep. It could be really any SUV, small car even. One of the most important things about living in your Jeep or your Toyota 4Runner or your SUV or other small vehicle is being a minimalist. One of the items on my rig is this Echo Smile cooler. It's about $125 on Amazon. And the reason why I use an ice chest cooler and not a 12 volt is because I like my drinks and I like ice. One other tip is, if you're putting ice in your ice chest, use some Tupperware containers like these, or Rubbermaid containers. They keep your stuff from getting all soggy. So another reason why I go with the ice chest over the 12 volt refrigerator type unit, I mean, not just because of power consumption, but because I like to drink beverages all day. And one of the things I like to do is make iced tea. You get these little mason jars, drop a couple of tea bags in, and with this thing rolling around the rig all day, usually by dinner time, I've got myself some iced tea. I spent about $700 or $800 on this Batwing awning by Overlanding Vehicle Systems. Like I say, it was about $700 or $800. This one goes out past the 180 degree mark, and it not only covers one side of my rig, but it also covers this back work area. In my opinion, it's really like the best $700 or $800 I think I've spent on this outfit. Comes with these poles. If you don't want to use them, you don't have to. But when it gets really windy, you can put these poles down, and it really helps with this thing flying around. But it's well made. It's all aluminum. It's all welded. A couple other accessories I have here is this rack that I put my cooler on, and I can also put a storage tote up top here. It's mounted on the tire. You can put your roto packs on the side. I've got some roto packs, but I didn't bring them for this trip. In the back of the rig, I've got these totes. I'll show you what's in them in a moment. Utility. I've chosen to do my storage above my bunk. I sleep in my Jeep, and some guys put their gear underneath their bunk. I put mine over my feet. And the reason why I do that is because it gives me extra headspace and sitting room inside the rig, and I'll show you that in a minute. I've got this 3-gallon bucket that I also put my paper towels in, trash bag liners, baby wipes, and you can also use it as sort of a porta potty if you need to. As far as bathroom facilities, I'm more of a shovel in the woods kind of guy, but you know, for you ladies, or if you're in an area where you can't have that option, you can always make a porta potty out of this bucket. Put a trash can liner in it, a little bit of kitty litter, you're good to go. Also in the back of the rig, underneath my mattress, I've got this ladder. I'll hide that underneath the bunk. I also have this plastic fold-out table. If I'm spending long periods of time at camp and I want to set up a nice big table, either to eat off of or to work off of, I can set that up. If y'all are interested in photography like I am, you'll know that I carry what I consider a whole full photography studio with me. Most of my YouTube videos are done using a couple of different action cameras. I use the Insta360, that modular camera. What I'm shooting on an Insta360 Ace Pro. That's the one that you're seeing this video on. I'm also bringing a DJI drone. One of the cameras that I brought with me on this trip is this Lumix. I like it because it's lightweight. This is a micro 4/3 platform, and this is a 100 to 300 zoom lens. I like that camera, and I bring it with me because this 100 to 300 is equivalent to well, a range of almost 600 millimeters on a full frame, and I like having it handy and quick in case I see some wildlife or an eagle or a bear. I want to be able to grab my camera, turn it on, and shoot it quickly. Another camera I bring with me is this Nikon Z5. Usually I have a wide-angle lens. This one's a 14-30. It's an f4. I use that for a lot of my landscape photography and my abandoned stuff. I just picked up this DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Haven't even had a chance to use it yet, but I hear that's a great camera. I always bring my laptop, an editing studio with Photoshop and some other tools. I also have this sort of backpack style rig. I can put it on my back or I can put it on my front, have easy access with these pockets to my lenses and my camera bodies. It's made by newswear.com. They're about $150. They're good quality, and I've had 3 of them in 10 years of shooting photography. I have this mini tripod, and I like that because it actually fits in my pack, and it's small and it's lightweight. Let me show you that setup. So this is how it comes. It has this telescoping pole with an extension and a base. I've also got this smaller extension that I can use as a selfie stick. It's got this little swivel mount on it, and I've adjusted it for my GoPro and action camera adapters. So here it is all put together. This is only extended just a little bit. No extra extensions, just set up as like a table mount tripod. It does adjust out even further in the base if you need more stability. I mean, if it's a really windy day, you probably don't want to use this. You want to use a little heavier tripod, but this is my go-to for my backpack bag. Or even when I'm traveling on my dual sport motorcycle, and space is even more limited, this is a great tripod option. It's tiny and it's light. So in the front of my rig, I usually put this power box on the front seat. That supplies all my power cords and things with the cigarette outlet. I also typically tend to carry 3 jugs of water, 1 for drinking and 2 for washing and cleaning, and in case I need extra water for anything. So there's a saying that you've probably heard me say before, which is if you're out here in the backcountry and you can't take a shower with 2 gallons of water or less, maybe you shouldn't be out here doing this. Got my stickers that I give away for the channel. Got some extra power cords, and I've got these wire ties. I use wire ties for everything. They're just so nice to help secure things down. I've also got some carabiners, extra power pack in case I need extra power to recharge things when my truck's not on, other than my auxiliary battery. So in the back of my wagon, this is where I sleep. I've got my blanket. I've got this stand I bought off of Amazon that I mount my tablet on so I can watch Netflix. And it's exactly about 6 foot, 6'1" when I move the seat forward. And when I sleep, I usually put my camera gear in the front. So if you're a real tall person, it might not work as well, but for me, I'm about 5'10", 5'11". Works just fine. I can sleep flat. I don't have to bend my knees. So if you look at it from this side, you'll notice that I've taken my seats out. And why did I do that? Well, because that way there, when I'm in my rig at night, I can sit up and I can put my feet down. And it just gives me just so much more less of a claustrophobic type of feel in here. And like I said earlier, I put my gear over my feet, not my bunk on top of my gear. And the reason why I do that is because that gives me the headspace that I need. It feels like a little camper. It doesn't feel like I can't sit up because I'm going to bang my head in the ceiling. This is a much, much better setup. All right, so let's slide the bunk out a little bit and I'll show you what I've got underneath the bunk. So it's not too hard to just slide the mattress back when the back doors are open. And some of the things I have underneath the bunk are, I have an auxiliary battery that I plug into the cigarette lighter and I can recharge when I'm traveling long distance. I've got all my Ryobi stuff. I run everything off of the same battery system, so I don't have to try to figure out what's what with that. I have a Ryobi fan that I use when it's hot. and a lantern, an air pump. Got this big old DeWalt 1000-watt power inverter that I can put onto my auxiliary battery if in the event I need to charge some things or run something that's electric, I can do so. Something else I have that's really cool is what I call a shower in a bag, and that's a fold-up collapsible bucket and this spout and this pump. So what you do is you fill up the bucket with 1 gallon or 2 gallons of water, and then you put this siphon in the bottom, and then you can hang up the shower head from your rack, and all you do is push the button and it turns on. You say, well, I don't want a freezing cold shower. Well, you can solve that problem. All you do is you put your gallon and a half of water in your bucket, then you just put a little kettle on and you boil some water, and then you add it to the cold water, which increases the temperature significantly. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to get a shower as good as if you go to Planet Fitness or even a truck stop like Pilot or Love's, but you know what? If you've gone the day and you're covered full of dust and you just want to hose yourself off, that's a really, really good option. It does have a rechargeable power pack, so you can charge it right up off of your cigarette lighter in your vehicle. Another thing I have for my windows are these shades. They just snap right in. They just snap in 2 seconds. Get them on Amazon. Mine came in silver. I spray painted mine black just so that when you look at the windows, you really can't see in and you really can't tell that they're privacy screens. I typically tend to bring 2 of these folding chairs with me, one for me, and then if I have company or someone shows up. So this is my power box. This sits with me in the front seat. It's just a briefcase, and what I did was I cut a hole in it so that I can plug this in and close the top if I want to put something on top of it. But I've got this extension for other cigarette lighter adapters. I've got this power inverter that I plug into it, and off of that I run all of my battery charges from my cameras. I've got a bag in here with all these little adapters. I put all my glasses. I've got a bunch of different types of glasses: prescription sunglasses, reading glasses, bifold glasses. And I have my mini InReach. Reason why I have this is because it has an SOS button. Most important, if I roll down a canyon and catch on fire, if I'm still alive, I can push the button. Or if I get eaten by a bear, they'll be able to find this inside the bear and at least know where I left off. One other nice feature I like about this is that you can download an app on your phone, and you don't need cell phone service to do this. You just need to connect with Bluetooth to the mini InReach. And you can send a certain amount of text messages off to your loved ones to let them know that, hey honey, there's no cell phone service here, but I made it to camp, I'm still alive. The bear didn't get me this time. Nice little unit to carry with you when you're traveling off backcountry. This is something else I carry. It kind of packs away. I don't think I would usually bring it unless it just kind of shoved up there in that spot up there, but it's a little privacy shelter. You could put a porta potty in it, or you could use it to shower if you were in a populated area. I'm not going to set it up, but it's, you know, it's about head height and gives you a little room to just sort of change up and things. This is my dry pantry box. I've got this little pot with a lid that I can use to make rice or vegetables or popcorn. I love to make popcorn when I'm camping because it tends to be one of the more healthier little treats you can make at night, and it's kind of entertaining to sit around the campfire and make some popcorn. I've been cooking lately with butane. I've got this butane stove that is pretty efficient. It's not really the smallest stove that I've ever used, but it does pack away kind of tight, and I just love the controlled heat out of it. It's better than trying to use one of those little jet boil. I mean, if I'm on a motorcycle, I would bring a jet boil, but if I have a little extra space, I'm going to bring something like this. I've also tried the screw top single burner propane, but the propane bottles are bigger and they're a little less stable than this. This is great for stir frying or cooking a steak in a pan. It's quick, it's easy, the cleanup is easy. And this is my little coffee setup. I love these little mason jars. I use them for everything. So I've got this pour over, collapsible little coffee maker here. You fill your coffee inside, and then you pour over your hot water. You just make that with your little kettle over there. Heat the hot water up, pour over, makes a good strong cup of coffee. Little powdered creamer for me because it's easy. I don't have to worry about it going bad. If I'm craving a cup of coffee, that's usually how I'll make it. I also like iced coffee. I've always got ice in my ice chest, right? I like the ice chest because I like the ice. One more thing I wanted to show you was these window covers. They're like a nylon screen, and you put them over your windows to keep the bugs out. In the summertime, it's always much harder to stay cool than it is to stay warm in the wintertime. So I put these on. It's kind of like putting on a pair of pantyhose. Ladies, I'm sure you know what that is. I'm actually sure maybe some of you guys know what that's like too, but... So on the front of my rig, I have a winch, like many other off-road vehicles. But mine is sort of unique because if you can see in the bottom, it actually goes into a square hitch receiver, which means I can take this off and I can bring it around to the back of the rig. And I can put it right into that square hitch receiver. So myself, I prefer to have the option of putting the winch not only on the front, but on the back as well. Because, I don't know about you, but oftentimes when I get my Jeep stuck, it's usually from going forward, not from going backwards. So with being able to move it from front to back, I have two different options. Now, I know some of you are going to write to me and say, oh yeah, but you can pull your Jeep out from the rear if you use this system of pulleys. Look, it's just easier to take the winch off the front and put it on the back. To me, that's your best solution. But if you disagree with me on that, make sure you make some comments below and tell me why I'm wrong. So if you're out on the trail all day and you're hungry and you want to whip up something that's relatively easy and healthy, I whip up this little dish. I call it egg roll in a pan. So you start off with a bag of coleslaw mix. Why coleslaw mix? Because they've already done all the work for you. It's just cabbage that's been sliced up and some carrots as well. You get your pan kind of hot and you stir fry that up. You get that going in one pan. You grill up some onions and some peppers. I didn't have any onions, so I just used peppers, but I actually prefer onions over peppers. So now we got our slaw and our peppers. So then I cooked up a little bit of ground beef, and then I'm going to add all of my vegetables. I get a little bit of dry spice. It's a blend of a bunch of different things. I mean, if you wanted to use soy sauce or teriyaki sauce, I'm sure you could do that. Just be creative. I mean, if you wanted to put soy sauce or teriyaki sauce, I guess you could. You really make it any way you like it. It's just a quick, easy thing you can make in 2 pans, 1 pan if you have a big enough pan. And it's healthy, it's tasty. I make it often. We have a little bit of this habanero honey mustard sauce. I'm going to try a little bit of that on. Just a little bit of it. Yeah. Give it a little heat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woo! Good stuff. So just a quick little video this week, little campsite cooking. If you like the content we provide, please consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram.